Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I want to welcome you to episode 35 of Saturday Serial. Got some good vibes out there we want to send out there to everybody. We already have a viewer in the chat. Dennis McCullough, good morning. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you do enjoy the show. All right, we're going to get right to it. I hope that everyone is having a great morning. And we are going to talk about this week in entertainment news. Our boss man, our brother, our generalissimo, Matt Allen, is still enjoying wedded bliss. So he won't be joining us today. Or maybe he will, who knows, he might. Never fear, because, hey, I'm here, and I'm going to give you the best show that I possibly can. Yes, good morning to you, Dennis. As you see, oh, wait, I have the wrong banner up. Well, I had to boomer one of these things just to let everyone know that it was me. That is the proper banner. If you enjoy the show and want to hear more, and if you would like to help the channel out, we have a PayPal link in the description, and every cent helps. All right, we're going to head back over to the comments. Jace Fox is here. He was my guest co-host last week. Hello, Jace. It's good to see you. My pal Captain Shrek is here. Captain Shrek and I, planning a little something. I'm trying to carve out some time to get onto his show. Usually, I'm not awake yet. Jace with "Hey, deleted. How are you, brother?" I'm awake. It's the best thing I can say. All right. Jace with "Hail to Captain Shrek." Ladies and gentlemen, we have another friend of the channel here, Brandon the Anime Guy. This man is an encyclopedia of anime. And he turned me on to Hellsing Ultimate, which I've been watching. So once my show is over here, please go over to Brandon's channel. The link is in the chat, and go and check his show out. Okay, saying hello to Jace. I am so happy to see so many people here. We're going to get started with the week in entertainment here in just a moment. Hellsing is one of the best. Yeah, I'm digging it so far. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm not really an expert when it comes to anime, which is one of the reasons why I've been watching Brandon's show. Because, like I said, the man is just an encyclopedia when it comes to anime. Mobile at the moment, so you can't really type. Well, yeah, okay. No worries. Please keep your eye on the road. And all right. Without any further ado, I'm going to get on with Going to get on with the entertainment news. This is the weekly catch up from Rotten Tomatoes by Mr. Greg Dean Smits, who has saved this broadcast on a number of occasions, especially while I'm hosting. That was supposed to be funny, folks. You are not laughing. Alrighty, we're going to get going with this. And here's the weekly catch up. The Batman is official, and I should turn my phone off. Oh, and I had this planned out so well. Yes, everyone can laugh. That was funny. I had a Toblerone moment. What can I say? And no one is ever going to get that reference, but that's okay. Okay, The Batman is officially getting a sequel and more movie news. We get first looks at Avatar, The Way of Water, at Margot Robbie's Barbie, Justin Lin exits Fast 10, details on films like Mission Impossible 7 and 8, Sony's various Spider Verse movies, Wicked, and more. All right, I'm going to scroll down to our first story. The Batman sequel was officially announced at CinemaCon. Right. Now, my understanding of CinemaCon was that it was maybe a bit of a dud in the minds of some people. Maybe we didn't learn much more than we didn't already know. But let's check this story out and see if there are any new details surrounding the possible Batman sequel. We may only be a third of the way into 2022, and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness may change the math. But the current box office champ of the year is The Batman, certified fresh at 86%. With $368 million domestically and $759 million worldwide. That being true, one of the biggest announcements out of several from CinemaCon in Las Vegas this week may also have been the least surprising, which is that Warner Brothers has officially started development on a sequel to The Batman. Nothing is known about the premise or the cast just yet, except that Robert Pattinson will return as the title superhero and that it will be directed again by Matt Reeves. We can probably expect that a number of actors and characters from the first film will also return. Andy Serkis and Jeffrey Wright as Alfred and Jim Gordon seem likely, but Pattinson was the only one officially announced at CinemaCon. As for the villain, or villains to be featured in the sequel, there's been a lot of speculation online in the last 2 months, including Mr. Freeze from Reeves himself, Egghead from Nicolas Cage, Calendar Man and the Court of Owls from Robert Pattinson, Clayface, and many more, including the Mad Hatter, Poison Ivy, Professor Pig, and that old chestnut, the Joker, cameo played by Barry Keoghan in The Batman. Another possible addition for the sequel could be Bruce Wayne's circus acrobat orphan and ward Robin, whose introduction may have been hinted at by Alfred in a line in The Batman. There's currently no release date for The Batman 2, but it's unlikely to be before 2024. In the meantime, fans can look forward to 2 spin off shows on HBO Max: The Penguin, starring Colin Farrell, and a series about Arkham Asylum. Okay, well, there's a lot to unpack here. I gotta be honest. I would like to see a Batman movie involving the Court of Owls. I really would. I would like to see a Clayface be in one of the movies. So, based on what we're being told here, I would be more interested in a sequel than I was in the film that they have in release right now, which I didn't completely hate, but I did have a number of issues with it, as I'm sure some of you already know. Um, so, Jace, or anyone who's still with me in the chat, what villain would you like to see in an upcoming Batman? Because this looks like this is happening with or without us. We knew this was going to happen. He wanted a trilogy. Uh, yeah, I mean, everybody seems to want a trilogy these days, and I think Lord of the Rings is partially responsible for that. That or the original trilogy Star Wars. Everything has to be in threes for some reason, and that always seems to be the way. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Nicolas Cage in a Batman movie play a villain. I'm totally fine with that. You know, but yeah, I want to. I understand a lot of the issues that people had, like the movie being too long, which it is. So they definitely have to keep the runtime down to, I think, just like a solid 2 hours should do it, and no more of this 3 hour stuff. For one thing, my bladder just won't take a movie that's longer than 2 hours anymore. It just won't. Um, it may be a little too dark because I had people tell me that the Batman did scare some smaller kids that went to go see it. You know, it's not a cartoon. It's a grounded movie. It's almost like Seven. You know, especially in some of those opening scenes, it is very reminiscent of Seven. And Seven is not a kids movie. You know, Batman should be something that you can take the whole family to. But I really like The Dark Knight. Some would say that that wasn't for kids either. So maybe I'm off base there. I don't know. Um, what I heard of the Deathstroke movie that Ben Affleck was going to direct, the sort of Batman versus Deathstroke movie. From what I heard of that, that could possibly have wound up being an R. And and I'm not saying that there's not room for like a dark R-rated Batman story, but I, you know, a lot of people were shut in for like the last couple of years, and they want to go out now. Families want to go out and do things together, and I think now is the time that we go out and we get some movies that are for family consumption, and a good Batman movie could be exactly that. And as McCullough says, Batman has been a mature title for a long time. Yeah, it has. It has. And I'm not against that. For myself personally, that's perfectly fine. But I also know that there's not really a whole lot of family fare out there right now. And I kind of like to see more of that, something that you can take an entire film. I don't personally have kids myself, but if I did, there's not really a whole lot out there that I could take them to. Encanto maybe is probably the most recent family film, really. Um, I understand Mitchell's versus the Machines was pretty good for families. I didn't see it, but I mean, I just totally went off on a rant about family films, but yeah, okay, a Batman sequel, I'm down. I'm certainly down for it. If it's tightened up, written a little bit better than the previous film, I might be willing to give it a shot. All right, I'm going to go on to our next story. James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of Water actually exists. I really have an issue with Bruce's penchant for kids in tights. Uh, yeah, yeah. But then again, the Adam West the Batman was in tights as well. So, yeah, yeah, Bruce. What is with the tights? I much prefer the armor. But enough about Batman for now. We're going to go on to the world of Pandora in Avatar. Let's see what the Navi have been up to in the last however long it's been, 20 years or so. It seemed like, I know it wasn't 20 years ago, it just seems like it. Director James Cameron has been working on his sequel to the 2009 hit Avatar. That one that might be forgiven for wondering if the entire franchise has been an elaborate prank. Cameron wasn't physically in Las Vegas for CinemaCon, but instead presented the first footage of the first sequel, Avatar: The Way of Water, set for release December 16th this year, remotely while still working on the films in New Zealand. CinemaCon attendees were given 3D glasses for the trailer, which ran longer than usual and had almost no dialogue, as they saw different regions across the dazzling world of Pandora through sweeping visuals of the planet's crystal blue oceans and lakes. Disney, which acquired Avatar with other 20th Century Fox properties in 2019, also revealed that Avatar: The Way of Water will begin to tell the story of the Sully family, Jake, Neytiri, and their kids. The trouble that follows them, the lengths they go to keep each other safe, the battles they fight to stay alive, and the tragedies they endure. Returning stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, CCH Pounder, and Gia Verbisi will be joined by new cast members Jermaine Clement, Cliff Curtis, Vin Diesel, Edie Falco, Winslet, and Michelle. As for the rest of us who weren't at CinemaCon this week, Disney will attach an Avatar: The Way of Water trailer to screenings of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness when that film opens next week. Looking ahead, Avatar: The Way of Water will then be followed by 3 more sequels released every 2 years in December, with those dates being December 20th, 2024, the 18th of 2026, and December 22nd, 2028. Disney has not announced the titles for the sequels yet, but a list of titles leaked in November ended up being right about Avatar: The Way of Water, so the others you'll find there might also be accurate. Okay, folks, well, this looks like Avatar is finally going to happen. Um, is anybody looking forward to these movies at all? Were you a fan of the first film? Um, Say hello. Digital Oliman is with us in the chat, friend of the show. Hello, Ollie. Ollie, what do you think? We got 4 Avatar sequels on the way. Um, my personal view of the first movie was that it was maybe a little too close to Dances with Wolves in many plot points. You know, I knew everything that was going to happen in that movie 20 minutes before it happened. So that kind of took the enjoyment away from it for me. Uh, but the visual effects I thought were outstanding, and the cinematography was great, and the 3D was among the best that I've seen. So as far as technical achievements, I thought Avatar was outstanding. I thought where it was lacking was in story. I think four is a little much. Yes, I think four is a little too much, especially when you don't know. I mean, this new movie could flop. You know, I think it's a little early to say, "Hey, let's do four more movies." It is far too early to say that. You know, Dances with Wolves and Pocahontas in 3D. Yes, that's what it was. You know, and not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It's just that it just made for, in my opinion, a predictable movie. Are they trying a Hunger Games type thing? Looks that way. Uh, well, I mean, Hunger Games was always a trilogy, and they just cut the third book in half and made a fourth movie to squeeze out a few more bucks. As Hollywood is wont to do. It's a town that's run by money, among other things that we're not going to talk about in this show. But Hollywood is first and foremost run on money, and that's why we're getting 4 Avatar movies we didn't ask for, and why we had an extra Hunger Games movie that we didn't need. Um, so yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the jury's still out on this one. But the new cast members that are coming up, they're interesting. I gotta say, I like to see this group in a movie. I just hope it's good. I Cameron has thrown himself completely into the world of Pandora. I hope that he's coming up with something special. I really do, for the sake of everybody involved. But so much money has gone into it that I can't see it making enough money to break even. I mean, who knows? I could be wrong. I hope I am. I'm not trying to black pill the Avatar sequels. I hope they're good. I honestly do. But there's a lot riding on this, and it could sink. If they keep it original, it could be good. Yeah, exactly. If they keep exactly my point. Uh, if they keep it original, it could be good. It really could. And like I said, I'm not blackpilling these movies. I hope it's good. And anybody who's in the chat, listening or watching the replay, if you enjoyed the original Avatar, great. I'm not going to talk you down from that. I did have story issues. I thought it was just kind of meh myself. The visuals are great, but to me that was about it though. Um, okay, so we're going to move on from the world of Avatar. And we're going to go on to our next story. This was something that was a bit of a surprise to me. Director Justin has dropped out of Fast 10. Okay, well, see if we have let's see if we have some new information on this story. Just last week, Vin Diesel took to Instagram to reveal that filming of Fast 10 had begun on April 20th, along with the logo and the official title for the 10th and penultimate film in the Fast and the Furious franchise. At the helm of Fast 10 was director Justin Lin, who has directed more entries in the series than anyone else at 5. Given how connected to the Fast and Furious family Lin has been, it was even more surprising when, after just 1 week of filming, he released a statement saying that he was exiting Fast 10 as director, although he remains on the project as producer and co writer. Directors drop out of projects all the time in Hollywood, but a departure in the middle of actual filming is much less common, and for Universal Pictures, an extremely costly incident, which they are no doubt racing to correct by finding a replacement as quickly as possible. The plan all along was for the final two movies, 10 and 11, to be filmed back to back. So Universal is most likely hoping to find a director who can commit to both films. The studio may need to bring in a director who has never worked on a Fast and Furious film before, as 3 of the 4 directors with previous experience are busy with other projects. James Wan on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, F. Gary Gray on Netflix's Lift, and David Leitch on Ryan Gosling's post-Barbie project Fall Guy. While the 4th is embroiled in controversy, it is, okay, in related news, another long-in-development racing project, the movie adaptation of the popular Mattel toy line Hot Wheels, may have inched closer to the starting line with the news that, J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot production company is now working with Mattel and Warner Brothers to get it made. Oh, okay, well, yeah. Oh, consider that dead in the water. Oh, J.J. Abrams, stop it, you cultural fucking vandal. All right, no, okay, I promised I wouldn't swear. PG-13. Oh man. Okay. Well. All right. Fast 10 has lost its director. Yeah. This is rare for a big Hollywood project like this to to lose a director like this. I don't know what to make of it. Now, there could be some kind of, family or God forbid, a health issue that's arisen for Justin Lin. Uh, I know that there are people on YouTube who are equating his exit to Brie Larson being cast in the movie. No, I don't see that happening. For all we know, he's the one who probably cast her. So I'm not going to jump to that conclusion just yet. This is very odd. I've been racking my brain trying to think of, and maybe if Jace is still in the chat, he might know when the last time a named director like this dropped out of a project after filming had already started. I mean, the last time I remember any kind of issue between a studio and director was, of course, with Josh Trank on Fan Four Stick. But the film had been shot, so the issues didn't really take place until after principal photography had been done. They basically kicked him out of the editing bay, and we got the aborted Franken film that we got. This is a very very odd. I don't know what to make of this, to be honest. You know. So okay, chat. Fast 10. Who do you think they should get to direct? You know, these movies have been doing very well. We're going to get this movie, whether we want it or not. We're going to get this movie. But you know, now they're minus a director, and they're trying to shoot two of these movies back to back. So I do not want to be in Universal shoes right now. I really don't. They've they got a problem on their hands. Okay, Ollie's like, what is that guy's problem? Seriously, JJ. Yeah. What is JJ Abrams' problem? JJ Abrams is a cultural vandal. You know, I mean, he might have had it in his early career, but lately, I just everything that he touches just goes wrong. You know, and now could you make a decent movie based on a Hot Wheels toy line? Sure, if they did something original with it, and something that just wasn't a Fast and Furious ripoff, yeah, I mean, I could see something maybe working. You know, if you got a good director and you cast it right and you had a decent story. Uh, I don't see J.J. Abrams coming up with any of those things. You know, and that's my personal issue with it. And I'm not going to go off on it on the J.J. Abrams rant. You know, you're not going to change anybody's minds for or against them at this point. You know. All right. War Monkey is here. Thank you, War Monkey, for joining us. It's always good to see you, friend of the channel. All right, so War Monkey, since you just got here, what do you think of Justin Lin leaving Fast 10 after 1 week of filming? Yeah. All right. Like I said, I can't think of. I don't remember ever hearing of a named director like this leaving a project during filming. It's very odd. Hadn't heard about that yet. Yeah, this apparently this happened a few days ago. They were 1 week into filming Fast 10, and Justin Lin, who's directed more of these films than anyone, has basically walked off the set. He's no longer involved with the movie. All he says, imagine it is personal as it never happens. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I got to think that there's some kind of family or health issue that's arisen. I can't see any other because he wasn't fired. He wasn't fired from the film, you know. So it wasn't that, you know. And if there were any kind of personality clashes on the set, I got to think we would have heard of that by now. So yeah, hopefully whatever the issue is with Justin Lin, if there is in fact some family or health issue with him, hopefully it's something that he will get past quickly, and he'll get back behind the camera. It's just not going to be for this film, unfortunately. War Monkey says, last movie kind of sucked, though. I'm a big fan of the franchise. Don't blame him, though. But yeah. I didn't see F9, so I can't just. I only have what people have told me to go off of, and it sounded to me like they kind of jumped the shark going into actually launching a car into space and whatnot. All right, we're at the halfway mark here. I want to thank everybody who's here in the chat. War Monkey, Digital Olamon, Jace Fox was with us. We had Dennis McCullough in the chat earlier. Brandon, the anime guy, who I'm sure is home now, getting ready for his own stream that is going to be on in the. Okay, have another channel in the chat. And Brian, good morning to you. I know you have a lot on your plate in the morning, so I want to thank you for joining us. We are talking about director Justin Lin leaving Fast 10 and also 11, because he was also set to direct the next film. And some speculation as to why he might leave. And like we said, this is purely speculation on my part. We have no details yet as to why he left the movie. And, good luck to you, Mr. Lin, and whatever you do next. We're going to move on to the next story because I think we've beaten that one to death. Margot Robbie's Barbie to face off against Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Doesn't seem fair. All right. Let's see what's going on with this. In our modern era of blockbuster summer weekends, the studio strategy of choosing the perfect release date is like a game of chess, including the occasional strategic move, feint, or bluff. Although filming of their long in development live action Barbie movie, directed by Greta Gerwig, and starring Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Will Ferrell, Simu Liu, Kate McKinnon, and many more, started last month. Warner Brothers didn't announce a release date until this week. When it was revealed, it was scheduled for release July 21st, 2023, up against Christopher Nolan's ambitious atomic bomb biopic Oppenheimer, starring Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, and also many, many more. The decision by Warner Brothers to plant their girl-friendly kids movie squarely against Oppenheimer has many levels of complexity, but the most obvious is that it's a reaction to Nolan's well-publicized feud with Warner Brothers over their handling of Nolan's Tenet in 2020. Warner Brothers also used our big presentation at CinemaCon as an opportunity to reveal the first image of Margot Robbie in character as Barbie behind the wheel of her pink convertible, confirming that classic Barbie accessories inclusion. What will not be in the Barbie movie is the hit 1990s pop song Barbie Girl by Aqua, thank God, with a representative of the group saying directly the song will not be used in the movie. The reason may relate to a lawsuit filed by Mattel against MCA Records, which reportedly ended with a U.S. Court of Appeals judge ruling the parties are advised to chill. That is an actual quote. Going back to Oppenheimer, the ever-expanding cast added another name this week in Casey Affleck, who became, and this is also real, the 30th confirmed member of the all-star Oppenheimer cast. Yes, Matt and I have been following the casting news from Oppenheimer for several weeks. Matt Damon is also in the movie, Robert Downey Jr., among many others. I think Jesse Plemons has also been added recently. It's that movie is it's going to be a big one. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And Barbie being the counter programming to that is interesting. Uh, Barbie will more than likely win that battle in the cinemas. Probably, it probably will. I think it will definitely get more. It will probably get more views per day. It'll probably be a much shorter film. You have the Barbie movie, which is kind of aimed at kids, as I said before. A family movie, and we have Oppenheimer, that's going to be this big budget, big cast biopic. And I got to think that the parents will take the kids to Barbie, and they'll get a sitter and come back and go see Oppenheimer. I think there's a chance that both movies could do well, but Barbie will probably make the most bank. So yeah, I think Dennis is right on this one. Barbie will likely win today, but we'll see. Anything could happen. Barbie could be a dud. Oppenheimer could be a dud. We're not going to know until we see them. Okay, so chat. We have a release date for both Barbie and Oppenheimer. Which movie do you plan to go see, or both, or none? Let me know in the chat. Move on to our next story. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse went into 2024. Fans of the Academy Award winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse were no doubt disappointed to hear last week that the sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, has been pushed back several months by Sony from October 7th, 2022 to its new release date of June 2nd, 2023. That move also pushed back the third film, now titled Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, into a new release date on March 29th, 2024. Producers Phil Lord and Christopher Miller showed off the first 15 minutes of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and revealed that the two sequels will have substantially larger ensemble casts, going from 40 characters in Into the Spider-Verse to 240 in Across the Spider-Verse, which will be set in at least 6 different alternate realities. Within the 15-minute CinemaCon, audiences got to see Earth 65, the home of Haley Steinfeld's Gwen Stacy, as well as more of Spider-Man 2029, Oscar Isaac, and another Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, voiced by Issa Rae. In related news, Kevin Feige also mentioned at CinemaCon that he will soon be staging a Marvel Studios retreat at which Feige's team will plan out the next 10 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. To put that in perspective, that's like Marvel planning Thor Love and Thunder a few months before Marvel's The Avengers came out. Okay. Overreach much? Yeah. Talk about putting all of your eggs in one basket. Man. I gotta say, let's see if the stuff you're making now works before you start planning 10 years down the road. Okay, I like I like the first animated Spider-Man. It won the Oscar that year for animated feature. I thought it deserved it. Hopefully the sequels will be good. You know, there are people who see Miles Morales as a redundant character. I understand that. I don't personally refer to him as Spider-Man. I just refer to him as Miles Morales, but we're not going to get into that debate just now. I'm also not sure if I like the idea of them jumping into the whole multiverse thing. I'm not sold on the multiverse yet. But who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong. Hopefully, hopefully they've come up with a good movie here too. We'll see. Okay, so the present state of Marvel, another Spider-Man movie. Chat, what do you think? Here's something I'm curious about since Oscar Isaac is going to be voicing Spider-Man 2029 in this new film. Has anybody seen Moon Knight yet? And what do you think of it? Because I've heard mixed reviews at best, and I've also heard some rumors that it might not get renewed. So if anybody's seen Moon Knight, let me know what you think in the chat. Ollie says the thing with the original is that it's an artistic and technical achievement. Can't see how the sequels can do that again. Yeah, agreed. But that's the chance you take with any sequel. Is it going to stand up to the original? And sequels very rarely equal or better the sequel. But like I said, who knows? They could pull a Godfather 2 on us with this. You never know. But yeah, Marvel is in trouble right now. You know, the only movie in Phase 4 that did well was a movie that was co-produced by Sony. With No Way Home. Again, another movie from last year that I liked, but are they going to be able to make a lightning strike twice? Are they going to be able to right the ship? I really don't know. They made the mistake of firing James Gunn, who was supposed to be the architect of Phase 4. And we got to wonder what he would have come up with. I mean, whether or not you're a fan of James Gunn personally or not, personally, I tend to like his movies. I don't agree with a lot of what he says. In public, so I'm not here, for or against James Gunn, but I'm just curious to see what he would have done with Phase 4. But then again, it wasn't Feige who fired him; it was Alan Horn who fired him. So I got it. I think it's just as much on him. But yeah, okay. So we got the 2 Spider-Man movies coming up. Hopefully, they will be good. Apparently, they're planning out the next 10 years of the Marvel universe. I think they need to fix Phase 4 first before they move on. But okay, good plan, which they're not currently doing. Then who knows? Maybe Marvel can come back. We'll see. We'll see. The ball's in their court now. they have to impress us again. They got to get back in our good graces, and that's not going to be an easy road. And I say keep leaning on them until they make something good, because we deserve that. We got to tell Marvel, we got to tell Hollywood in general, you want our money, you got to respect us as fans, and you have to make something good. And if you're making something based on an IP, you have to respect the lore of that IP, because we know the lore and we're going to be watching. And if you screw up, we're going to let you know. All right. Well, we're going to move on from Marvel and Spider-Man to our next story. And okay, more Marvel. Marvel by way of Sony. Venom 3 and new Ghostbusters movie announced at CinemaCon. The CinemaCon in Las Vegas is an opportunity by every major studio to have their own marquee presentation to show off their upcoming films, both imminent and a few years away. In addition to the animated sequels, Spider-Man Across the Universe and Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, Sony also promised their presentation that they are actively developing the sequels of Venom 3 and Ghostbusters 4, which will technically be the fifth film, counting 2016's Ghostbusters, which exists in its own continuity, which should be in a dumpster somewhere, preferably on fire. The exact premises of these sequels aren't known yet, except that Venom Let There Be Carnage suggested the introduction of the symbiote toxin, and Ghostbusters Afterlife teased the return of Ernie Hudson's Winston. Other films in Sony's presentations included the Whitney Houston biopic I Want to Dance with Somebody and the untitled George Foreman boxing movie. In related news, not announced at CinemaCon, Sony also hired Hawkeye director Rhys Thomas to work on their long-in-development live-action adaptation of the popular anime series Robotech, about giant robots fighting off an alien force. Okay, well, I am certainly happy for Ghostbusters 4. I'm totally down for that. I mean, they did hint that Ghost Core might be involved in the next film, so I'm certainly happy to see that on the big screen. As for Venom, was not a fan. I was not a fan of Let There Be Carnage. I got to be honest. I didn't like that movie. I just felt too rushed. I don't like what they ultimately did with Carnage by the end of the movie. I think they really, without going too deep into spoilers, I think they really ruined some great storylines. They could have done some interesting sequels, but they're the path's not taken. Hopefully Brandon is still listening, because I'm sure he knows a lot more about Robotech than certainly that I would. So Brandon, if you're still with us, what do you think of the director of the Hawkeye series taking over the Robotech film? So chat, what do you think? Did you like Ghostbusters? Are you looking forward to more? What do you think of this Robotech film that we're going to be getting? Let me know in the chat. We also have biopics coming up about Whitney Houston and George Foreman. well done, they could be those could be interesting if they're well cast. Okay, Dennis is. I hope Robotech is finally happening. Well, it looks like it is. They have a director lined up. Uh, Sony is going to be producing. So, it's been rumored for years, and I hope they don't hurt it. Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, I hope it's good too. I know several people who are Robotech fans, and yeah, for their sake, I hope that this is a good movie. I don't think every anime series needs to be live action. I think anime should just be anime. But if you're going to make a live action film, make something that's good, and hopefully, for the sake of the Robotech fans out there, and I know you, and you know who you are. Uh, yeah, I hope this works out. I hope it's a good movie. I really really do. Hey, giant robots fighting aliens. Hey, shit, I'm down. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, let's move on to our next story. Ariana Grande's Wicked to be split in two for 2024 and 25. Okay. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, let's see what this is about. And I know that there are a couple of people in the chat who just heard the name Ariana Grande and are now running away screaming. But please come back. Please come back and bear with me through this one story, please. A seemingly recurring theme in Hollywood as Hollywood studios make their plans for a post-pandemic future is that many of their longest in development and often struggling projects are finally getting produced at Universal Pictures. That bucket list has included a live action adaptation of the hit Broadway musical Wicked, which has been talked about for most of the 19 years since the Wizard of Oz inspired musical debuted on Broadway in 2003. The past decade has seen a steady trickle of positive moves for a Wicked movie, including the casting in November of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo as the two lead characters, Glinda the Good Witch and Alphaba. Hopefully, I said that right. The eventual Wicked Witch of the West. Director John M. Chu of In the Heights and Crazy Rich Asians took to social media this week to reveal that Universal Pictures has decided to expand the story into two separate feature films to be released on two consecutive Christmas days in 2024 and 25. Clarifying the reason for the split, Chu tweeted, "As we tried to cut songs or trim characters, those decisions began to feel like fatal compromises to the source material that has entertained us all for so many years." Okay, well, we're getting another movie split in half. Um, okay, Mr. Reynolds, what do you think of this development?
Why?
It's exactly. uh, Mr. Scott, two Wicked movies instead of one. What do you think?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, while he calms down. Okay, chat. Um, I know you are all huge fans of Ariana Grande. Are you looking forward to two Wicked movies? Please, uh, dear God, please have mercy on us, sir. My show's an hour in, and it's being killed by Ariana Grande. Oh, no, okay, no. All right, I'm going to be serious. You know, Wicked was very popular on Broadway, so a film version was inevitable. I mean, we know how this works. Whenever there's a popular musical or a television show, everybody starts automatically thinking, or at least the studio suits begin to think, how can we milk this for all it's worth and make a movie out of it? Dennis McCullough says the Broadway musical was great. There doesn't need to be a movie. Um, I'm inclined to believe you. Yeah, but I mean, this is going to happen with or without us. You know, I'm not in a hurry to see it. You know, if you're going to show me something having to do with Wizard of Oz, I'd rather just watch the original Wizard of Oz and just be done with that. You know, um, but there was a similar themed musical some years back called Into the Woods that became a successful movie. I I have to think this is going to be some sort of answer to that. But, Broadway musicals are not my cup of tea for the most part. I mean, for me, that kind of starts and finishes with West Side Story. You know, Les Mis, yeah, that's good too, but that's about it. You know, it, with 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 me, it's a bit of a weird thing. You know, I I'm not a fan necessarily of musicals, but a lot of my favorite scenes in movies have been musical moments. I don't know if that makes sense, but I it's weird watching a movie and then all of a sudden people start breaking into song. Like, it takes me it takes me out of it for a bit. Into the Woods was not meant for kids. People that took their kids to that didn't do their research. Um, Again, I didn't see Into the Woods, so it's not something that I can judge. Um, the musical was popular on Broadway. The movie did well, from what I understand. It got good reviews, that as far as I can remember, anyway. Um, but I also did notice that that movie was PG-13, so I got to think that there was maybe something in it that wasn't for smaller children. I have a BA in theater arts. Oh, okay, yeah. First off, congratulations on earning the BA. Uh, Certainly, you're going to know more about Wicked and Into the Woods than I do. Um, I cringe seeing parents who took their daughters in princess outfits. Well, that's kind of cringy anyway. I say, save the princess outfits for Halloween. you know, uh, don't don't take your kids out like to the movies dressed up as something. you know, just because Will and Jada let their son dress up as Batman to a wedding doesn't mean everyone else has to do it. You know? All right. Well, we're getting a Wicked movie from the director of In the Heights. In the Heights, which I did see, and I did enjoy. I thought that movie really didn't get the chance that it deserved. It's actually worth seeing. And remember, this is coming from someone who's not necessarily a fan of musicals, and I'm saying, In the Heights, well worth seeing. All right, we're going to move on to our next story. Upcoming Mission Impossible gets a rather awkward title. Okay, here's something I know a little bit more about the Mission Impossible films. Most of the studio presentations at CinemaCon in Las Vegas feature big movie stars, and Paramount Pictures was no exception, as Tom Cruise helped excite the audience of industry professionals about his next and possibly final two Mission Impossible films, filmed in 2020 and 21 in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, for a budget of reportedly well over $200 million. Mission Impossible 7 will finally reach theaters next summer, July 14th, 2023, under the title Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1, which will presumably be followed by Mission Impossible 8 Dead Reckoning Part 2, when that film is released June 28th, 2024. Tom Cruise was not, however, actually in Las Vegas, as he appeared on screen in an antique airplane over a canyon in South Africa, where he and director Christopher McQuarrie are currently filming Mission Impossible 8. Tom Cruise's co-stars in the next two films will include Haley Atwell, Angela Bassett, Carrie Elways, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, Vanessa Kirby, and Ving Rhames. Another title that Paramount announced at Sun was the A Quiet Place spinoff, which is now called A Quiet Place Day 1, set for release September 22nd, 2023, clarifying that the spinoff is also a prequel, presumably focusing on characters other than those played by Emily Blunt and her co-stars, who will instead return for A Quiet Place Part 3 sometime in 2025. Paramount has not yet announced the cast of A Quiet Place Day 1, but it will be directed by Michael Sarnoski, who is the director of the Nicolas Cage film Pig. All right, well, two Mission Impossible films coming up, and two Quiet Place movies on the way. Okay, well, I'm happy because I'm a fan of both of those franchises. And, and sequels that I'm actually looking forward to for a change. Lindsay, the cynical geek, has joined us. Hello, Lindsay. Lindsay is one part of Black Death. Jesse Miller and the gang. Unfortunately, I've had to miss out on the last few live streams. Oh, and Jesse is here. Hey, man. Oh, gently put you back up on screen. Yes, Jesse Miller at the Crow's Nest. The Black Death Gaming contingent has been well represented in the chat. Good to see you both. So we have two Mission Impossible movies and two movies coming up, according to this article. I liked both of those. I liked the Mission Impossible movies. I liked the Quiet Place movies so far. I am I'm looking forward to these, even though I'm not really big right now on sequels. Um, but hey, they're sequels of movies that were, in my opinion, actually good. So I'm happy to see these when they finally finish filming them. The the virus of unknown origin, as we will call it here, um, pushed back a lot of movies. Um, we were supposed to already have both of these Mission Impossible movies in theaters. John Wick 4 was already supposed to be out last summer, if I remember correctly. Um, so I'm glad to see that some of these movies are finally back on track. I'm I'm definitely looking forward more to Mission Impossible than I am to Avatar. I still need to see A Quiet Place. Yeah, Lindsay, uh, Quiet Place. You got to check it out. I highly recommend both of those movies. They're both very good. And the first movie made my top 10 that year. Um, the sequel, the sequel was pretty close as well. So yeah, Lindsay, please go see A Quiet Place. Uh, Good sequels are hard to come by these days. Yeah, but that's always been the case. The sequels are never as good as the originals. The fact that you have a sequel that is as good or better than the original film, Godfather 2 earlier in the broadcast. Jesse says can't hear yet on the phone with Tina. Okay, hey man, take your time. Do what you got to do. We're going to be here for a few more minutes. And she says, Avatar is lame. I never understood why it got so popular, other than people wanted to bang a female Navi. I did not. We're a different species. It would never work out. Um, Avatar is lame. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. That I liked it on a technical standpoint, but story wise, I thought it was highly derivative. So cynical. Yeah. We can be. We can be. LOL. Yeah. Uh, Agreed. But Quiet Place and Mission Impossible are two movies that I'm certainly not cynical about, and I'm looking forward to seeing both of these movies. Uh, Talk amongst yourselves. You are correct. Yes. All right, let's move on to our next story. Speak of the devil. We brought up the Hunger Games movies earlier on in the broadcast, and yes, the prequel was announced. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is going to be a feature film. All right. The seemingly dominant genre in movies nowadays, at least in terms of box office results, appears to be the superhero movie. But it wasn't that long ago when all of the pop culture relevance seemed to be strongly in the hands of YA novels. We are talking about the time. Ugh. Let me get something to drink. A drink if you got them. Give me a sec. War Monkey. Oh, well, yeah, War Monkey, you called it. We're going to get more Hunger Games. Okay. We're talking about the time just as the Harry Potter movies were winding down, and movies like Twilight, Divergent, and The Hunger Games spawned their own multi film franchises. We have known for a while that Lionsgate has the right to author Suzanne Collins' prequel to The Hunger Games called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which the studio acquired even before that book was first published in May of 2020. Set many years before The Hunger Games, this prequel will focus on young Coriolanus Snow, originally played by Donald Sutherland, as he mentors the District 12 tribute at the 10th Hunger Games. Director Francis Lawrence, who directed all of the Hunger Games movies except the first one, was in Las Vegas for CinemaCon to represent Lionsgate this week and to discuss his plans to start directing The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes later this year for the film's release next year, November 17th, 2023. Although he was able to talk about the film, what he didn't reveal was any of the cast, which remains a mystery for now. In related news, Lionsgate's presentation also included Keanu Reeves talking up John Wick 4 and a confirmation that Anna de Armas will soon start filming the John Wick spin-off Ballerina, and hype for Expendables 4, the classic teen novel adaptation Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, the video game adaptation Borderlands, and a Dirty Dancing sequel starring Jennifer Grey. War Monkey says, I liked all the movies. They gradually got worse, though. I'm open to another. Hope it doesn't suck. Yeah. I didn't like the third one, because they divided the third book into two movies, and there was a lot of shoe leather, there was a lot of setup, but there wasn't really a movie. I didn't like the third one, and so far I haven't seen 4, so I don't know how everything got wrapped up. Yeah, I hope this is good as well. Yeah, I like the first 2 movies. The first one more than the second, but I did like the first 2 movies. 3 not so much, like I said. So this could be interesting. How did Snow become the person that he did? Was he always a psychopath, or did the world make him that way? I guess we'll find out. But hey, John Wick 4, I'm really looking forward to that. We're finally going to get the spin-off movie Ballerina. Ballerina was a blacklist script for a couple of years. So that script has been floating around. So I'm curious to see how the final film measures up compared to the original script. We have the Expendables 4 coming up. There have been some rumors that this might be the last Expendables movie for Sylvester Stallone, and that this might be a passing of the torch movie. Borderlands, I don't know much about the film other than Kevin Hart is going to be playing a role in it, and that he trained with Terran Tactical, the same people who trained Keanu Reeves for the John Wick films. And this is the first that I'm hearing that Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret is getting a film. I don't know how to feel about that. I'd rather they left it alone, but we'll see. Who knows? That could be good. a Dirty Dancing sequel starring Jennifer Grey. Okay, you know, it's going to be odd not having Patrick Swayze there, but you know, who knows? You know, I can't really see a Dirty Dancing movie without him involved. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see if, you know, when exactly that's going to be set. If it's still going to be a. I mean, she's older now. It's obviously not going to be set in the '60s like the previous films were. Oh, okay. A lot to unpack there. So, okay. Hunger Games fans, going to be a Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is going to be adapted, and it looks like Francis Lawrence is going to be back behind the camera. You can't have Dirty Dancing without Johnny, Baby and Johnny are OTP. I agree. And Patrick Swayze, wherever you are, God bless you. Rest in peace, man. You left us way too soon. Um, yeah, I can't see a Dirty Dancing movie without Patrick Swayze being involved in some fashion. Um, there was a sort of sequel called Havana Nights, where if I recall correctly, Patrick Swayze did have a cameo in that film. Jennifer Grey was not in it so far as I'm aware. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think they just took too long getting to this. But yeah, you know, hey, we're getting more Hunger Games. We're getting more John Wick. I'm happy about that. Okay. Here's a really odd story. Rapper Bad Bunny to wrestle as Marvel luchador El Muerto. All right, let's find out more about this story. There are a lot of similarities between comic book superheroes and professional wrestlers, as they are both frequently stacked with muscles and have flamboyant aliases. Dwayne Johnson was The Rock, Terry Bollea was Hulk Hogan, etc. In Marvel Comics, there have been storylines where superheroes and supervillains took to the wrestling ring, such as in the 1980s, when characters like The Thing and Miss Marvel were members of the Unlimited Class Wrestling Federation, the UCWF. The Marvel Comics wrestler that will be getting his own movie was actually not a member of the UCWF, but will instead be the Mexican luchador El Muerto, a relatively obscure Spider Man villain first introduced in 2006. The El Muerto movie is being developed by Sony Pictures as one of their roster of films about characters that were first introduced as Spider Man villains or supporting characters, like Venom, Morbius, and upcoming films Craven the Hunter and Madam Web. El Muerto will have the distinction of being the first Marvel Comics movie to have a Latino lead, as the luchador El Muerto will be portrayed by Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, aka the Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny. Although El Muerto is a relatively obscure Marvel Comics character, he is reportedly getting his own movie because Bad Bunny suggested the character to Sony Pictures following his work for the studio on this summer's Bullet Train. Although El Muerto does not yet have a screenwriter or director, Sony Pictures has already announced the film for release January 12, 2024. Okay. Questions. Who is Bad Bunny? And who the hell is El Muerto? Okay. Also, announcing a film for release before you have a script or a director. um, okay. All I can do is really laugh at the story. Oh, okay. Apparently, we have Marvel going into the world of lucha wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. Okay, Sony. All right. Quit joking. It's not funny anymore. All right. Okay, off the phone. Can hear now. Well, I don't know if you want to hear the story, Jesse. Um, unless you're a fan of obscure Spider-Man villains. Bad Bunny is what the DJ calls women when they're no longer Honey Bunny. Okay. Okay. That one. Yes. Okay, so all right, we're getting an El Muerto movie, folks. And then I don't know what to say. All right, so that was our last story for the day. All right, Mr. Reynolds, an El Muerto movie. What do you think?
But why?
Yeah, I know, right? Mr. Scott, what are your opinions on the El Muerto film?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, while he calms down, we are going to move back to the chat. Dude, I have like 5,000 comics and I've never heard of El Muerto. Neither have I. I have to be honest, never heard of this character before this week. And to be honest, I don't think I've heard of Bad Bunny before this week. I don't know who this guy is, which will work out swell for normies. Yeah, probably. Is Adam West going to be in it? Dude, I wish. I wish. I miss Adam West. I miss Adam West. We need him now. Who? LOL. Exactly. That Adam West, the Batman fake slap. Hell yeah, it did. I wish we played. We'd probably get yeeted if we did. Yeah, Corridor Crew dropped and trailer, but with the 1966 cast in it. And I got to tell you, it's a trip. It's great. I can love it. Alpha Flight, stupid Hollywood. They even have a brother and sister, and the brother's always been gay. They don't have to swap anything. Huh. Yeah, yeah, you know. But honestly, would we really want a major Hollywood studio in charge of an Alpha Flight movie? I don't know. All right. Well, we're at the hour and a half mark, and we're getting ready to wrap up the show. Okay. No. Well, just Sean was a native. Uh huh. Character swaps are gay. Yeah. Yeah, they are. All righty. Well, like I said, we're about to wrap up the show. I want to thank everyone who joined me here today. Jesse Miller at the Crow's Nest, Lindsay the Cynical Geek, Black Death Gaming represent. We had Dennis McCullough here. Had Digital Olamon, War Monkey joined us. Brandon the Anime Guy was here earlier. His show is fixing to start. So when we're finished here, please run over to his channel and give his show a watch. Can we stop erasing gingers, please? Ginger lives matter. Yes, yes, they do. Ginger lives matter, damn it. I didn't know Bruce Wayne was deformed. Oh, well. Seemed like a good idea that was bastardized in production with poor decisions. Yeah, but you know, what do we expect at this point? All right. All right, we got through another show. And thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys really saved my butt this morning. I don't know anymore. Logic is dead. Yeah, it certainly seems like it, doesn't it? Okay, CJ. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody who joined me here today. Fun show. Yes, it was. I want to thank you to everyone in the chat for being here. You guys are the best. Go over to Brandon the Anime Guy. His show should be starting right about now. So if you want to get all the latest in anime, he's the go-to guy. All right. All right. We are the Fellowship. We have each other's backs. We're a family here. And what was that? The Alien show will be in 6 months. Blue Helmet bad. Okay. Well, we will see. All right. Well, if you enjoyed the show, if please hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to help us keep things going here, the PayPal link is in the description, and every cent counts. I'm going to wrap it up now. I am Deleted Scenes, and I want to thank everyone for being with us. It was a great show. I'm feeling much more confident being on the air by myself, but that doesn't mean that I won't have any special guest hosts coming along anytime soon. So check your Twitter DMs. I just might be there. right. So to everyone in the audience, everybody in the chat watching the replay, thank you very much. And I will see you next week.